Hey, it's Tristan again from primaledgehealth.com, and want to clear up some confusion. This is a really common question from people who are just beginning to look into starting a ketogenic diet, and the confusion comes about due to information on the internet, a lot of old studies on epileptic children, which talk about the medical ketogenic diet and the ratios of fat to protein and carbohydrates, your three macronutrients. All right, so let me explain. In a lot of these older studies, they talk about the ketogenic diet being composed of 80% fat and about 15% protein and like 5% carbohydrate. Now, for the average individual starting keto today, these percentage ratios have zero relevance. Don't think in terms of percentages. We don't want to look at it in terms of percentages. We want to look at it in terms of grams of carbohydrates, fats, and proteins. These studies done back in the day were done on epileptic children. This is for maintaining a state of deep ketosis for people for medical purposes, for maintaining balanced brain chemistry, which of course you can do if you don't look at it in terms of percentages. You could still get into deep ketosis if you look at it in terms of grams. So instead of looking at it as I need to eat 5% carbohydrates, we don't want to look at it that way. We want to look at it in terms of grams. For most individuals, especially in the beginning, it's good, it's safe to start at around 30 grams and under of net carbohydrates. And all those carbohydrates are going to be from vegetable sources. You want to be eating lots of leafy greens, vegetables that are full of fiber. Preferably fermented vegetables should be a major part of your diet. If you're looking at maintaining a healthy body, a healthy brain, these are intimately connected into the gut microbiome, something I had a very harsh run-in with recently due to a bacterial infection, which are common all throughout the tropics, all throughout Latin America, as well as in North America as well. So I've always dealt with gut issues historically. I've dealt with things like allergies and asthma since I was a child, lots of antibiotics, and subpar digestion my entire life. So maintaining good gut health is really important to me. If you're looking to make body composition changes, you're looking to make beneficial long-term changes in the way your body appears, the way your little meat suit looks. If you're trying to put on muscle, nutrient absorption is of vital importance. Making sure you're absorbing the nutrients you eat is important. So keeping that gut healthy with fermented vegetables, natural probiotics, and fiber to ferment these bifidobacteria, lactobacillus bacteria, and even soil-based probiotics that are naturally in our bodies becomes very important. So first point is, don't look at it in terms of percentages. Look at it in grams. There is no magic number for carbohydrate intake to maintain ketosis. Some people can eat more carbs, some people can eat less carbs. It's a nice safe estimate to keep it around under like 30 grams net carb in the beginning for most individuals. If you're training a lot, you can usually handle more carbohydrates. Putting in some carbohydrates around your training when you're a more advanced lifter and when you've already been on keto diet for a little while can be a beneficial thing if you're looking for muscle gains. But I think there's a lot of confusion. People who are just looking into it see 80% fat, 15% protein, 5% carbohydrates, and they're thinking, wow, so I'm going to have to eat, if I'm eating, this is a question, now this is, I'm not making fun of anybody, but this is a question that kind of demonstrates a major misunderstanding. And I had some people commenting on a video asking if you want to eat like 800 grams of fat and 150 grams of protein and then 50 grams of carbohydrates. Now, the ratios that they were talking about back in the day in these studies, when they speak about 80% fat-based diet, they're not talking about that value in grams. They're talking about calorically. There are 9 calories per gram of fat, 4 calories per gram of protein, 4 calories per gram of carbohydrate. So do the math there. Per gram, fat is much more nutrient dense. There's a lot more energy to be derived from 1 gram of fat than there is to be derived from 1 gram of protein, 1 gram of carbohydrates. So I hope that clears up this little bit of confusion. Don't look at it in terms of percentages. Look at it in grams. We're looking at grams of carbohydrate, grams of fat, grams of protein. Don't worry about percentages. For some people, it may look like 60% fat in their diet. For others who are not in a calorie deficit, it might look like 80% fat if you look at it calorically. So the percentages are going to change according to your goals, according to what you're doing, and you want to make sure that you formulate your diet right. It's really cool that there's a lot of interest in the ketogenic diet. I'm all about teaching people how to do it correctly. A lot of clients that we work with have been doing keto for a while and not getting the results they wanted. Simple tweaks to the diet, or major tweaks to the diet in some cases, changes in nutrient timing. All these things can bring about great changes in your results. So if you're looking into starting a keto diet, don't think about percentages. Don't worry about that. Think about grams. Figure out how much protein you need, how many grams of protein you're going to require, how many grams of fat, and carbohydrates, you're getting those from specific sources. You don't want to be getting your carbohydrates, you don't want to be eating 50 grams of carbs from rice, or, a few bites of sweet potato to equal 30 grams of carbs, or 1 teaspoon or tablespoon of white sugar. That's not going to help you. The types of carbohydrates you're going to be intaking are going to be sources of micronutrients, green leafy vegetables, and fiber. And we want to include some fermented vegetables in there. Even if you've never tried it before, get down on some sauerkraut. Make some homemade sauerkraut. Get some from your farmer's market. Source local, organic, nutrient-dense foods that are not grown with a bunch of pesticides that destroy the soil and destroy the biome, the microbiome of the soil, as well as your gut. So anyways, this is Tristan from primaledgehealth.com. You can hit us up, www.primaledgehealth.com. Don't think of it in terms of percentages. Look at the grams. All right, later.